I've held off on doing a Mindbender video because I wanted to have the creator and the creation in the same video. Now, I have Mindbender and Serpentor, both from Hasbro Pulse, and I'm going to open them up right now. Here we go. Serpentor. Got a little ahead of myself and needed to cut the tape on the sleeve, but oh man, this is a figure that I've been super excited for. I've had several of the Mindbender figures, looked at them, and not kept one until now, but same type of box that Mindbender comes in. Check this out. This folding display. This is actually really nice. I like the packaging for this a lot. It's really cool. You have the Air Chariot image here, and then you have accessories for Serpentor over here and over here. So we will unbox everything, especially this figure, because this figure is a new mold. You've got the different style of torso and not the ab crunch on this guy. So definitely looking forward to getting into that. We have two poorly placed pieces of tape right here. I mean, this is the first time that I've opened one of these. I'm not real familiar with where everything is, but here in this corner and then here in this corner to kind of hold that, that tray in place. It's not necessary. The cardboard covers him. I'm not really sure why they would put that there. But if they're going to do this type of packaging, I wish they wouldn't tape the hell out of everything. Dr. Mindbender, a slightly smaller version of that slipcase box. This one was not taped here and here like Serpentor's box is. So we can slide that right out of the case. And then you have the same Cobra DNA sequence shown. You have all the artwork and everything on the back of the box. Yeah! Dr. Mindbender at his finest. The creator. Yes. The cool thing about this is you can put it all back together and slide it right back in the slipcase for display or storage. That's how I'll do mine. They really did a stellar job with the box art and the packaging on these deluxe figures. Mindbender's box. This would be the front, and then you have the lab doors with the Cobra DNA sequence here. This is number 43. They have them numbered on the side, and then you also have the little panel here that has stuff linked to the website. I really haven't checked that out very much. I heard they're not updating it. I hope that's not a bad sign. But you have the mix of gloss and matte. The slipcase blends in with the back to complete this mural where you have like the dream sequence. If you've seen the Arise, Serpentor Arise episodes of the Sunbow cartoon, you'll recognize a lot of this stuff here. They collected DNA from history's greatest conquerors and greatest leaders to create Serpentor. So that slipcase pulled off, and the box opens like this. You have Mindbender, of course, here in the middle with all of the extra accessories around him. You have these little pods over here that you can fill with liquid. You have a hand, a brain, a skull. The brain actually goes into the skull or into this small pod here. You also have Mindbender's vintage style accessories. His little backpack thing here. I don't know what the hell these are. These weapons, I guess. But you have the injector pistol, and you have all these little diodes that go onto the brain canister over here on the side. We will pop all of this stuff out, and you also have the pistol that he carries. So just a quick look at all the accessories. I'm hesitant to remove all of this stuff because it's just it's a lot. I thought Hasbro was going to be saving the world by getting away from the extra plastic packaging, but look at this shit. Isn't that kind of overkill for 3 pieces and 2 pieces here? All of this could have been on the same... Yeah, look at that. All of this could have been on the same tray or even on the same tray as the figure. Don't really see the purpose of having 3 separate trays here. They could have even had the folding box along with all of this stuff. So I'm not going to crinkle plastic in your face. I will untray everything, and then we'll get to that. Man, these things were really, really formed in there and kind of difficult to remove. Almost like the figure wasn't meant to be taken out of here, but we all know that he is. I am not going to take out all the little diodes. I will show you where they go, but if I drop one of those, it's gone to the abyss. First off, the soft goods cape. This is, I'm going to say it's okay. It's not the best done thing in the world, but it's, you know, it serves its purpose for the look. There's no Cobra emblem on the back. I heard some complaints about that, but I don't really care about a Cobra emblem being on the back. That's just going to be, it would just be screen printed and kind of wear off anyway. Let's check this. There we go. The monocle does come off, and he has a little slot there next to the eye. That's a neat little feature. I don't really know why you'd want to have that come off there, but what is really cool about it is the fact that, yes, it is clear and you can see his eye through it. I dig that. The head's not overly tight. I don't think it's loose enough to the point where it's going to fall off or anything. I actually pulled a snake eyes out of the box and the head literally fell off. Would not go back on. It's like it was molded weird or something. Joints feel pretty good on this figure. Nothing's overly tight like it's going to break, except for the knees. I say that as soon as I get ready to move a knee, and a knee gets real tight. So, anyway, the attention to detail, the leather look of the boots, the paint apps on all of the buckles and everything, even on the holster here on the side. Let's take a look at the back. And this does appear to be one piece that's glued on back here and isn't going to be moving around or anything. So that might actually be part of this this waist cover here. And the straps are movable. You do have all of the articulation that's very typical of all these figures. That's extremely tight. Yeah, this figure is going to live in the box anyway, so I'm not going to have him stored out. I'm not going to be posing him or anything like that. So I do want him to articulate, but in order to make that happen and use all of the points of articulation, definitely going to have to heat this figure up. I don't want to snap something on a limited exclusive figure that's not going to be replaceable. You can already see that there are stress marks right there on that hip rotator. That's annoying. Come on, Hasbro. Anyway, that happened pulling him out of the box. I pulled him out by the leg the whole time thinking, you know, maybe I really shouldn't pull this figure out by the leg like that. Maybe I should take the time to pop everything out a little easier. But no, I had to just go ahead and rip it out. That is a weak spot of the classified line. The little cross piece here. It's just not a lot of plastic for as tight as some of these joints are made. You can see how thin that actually is. Let me get in there and point to it. It only goes from here to here. And I mean, this thing, it looks like it's ready to break right off there. So we're not going to mess with that too much. The figure looks great. That's how he will live, and it's not like I'm going to be getting rid of him or anything. So we'll move him right over here next to my 3.75-inch O-ring 3D printed Pythona from Lone Wolf Toys. Yeah, leave a little Easter egg out here for you for a future video. That'll be coming up soon. Those are available on their website. So the skull cap does fit onto the skull. And the brain, let's make sure that I get this right. I think it goes in like this, maybe like this. Let us find out. Yeah, not the greatest fit in the world, but yeah. Anyway, it sets right down in there. Cram it in. if you must. And then the skull cap will go right on top of it. The next piece is the canister for the brain, and it just kind of sets right there. The top of the canister keeps everything straight. It's not like it's actually plugged in with that socket. It's just giving it a little bit of stability. These diodes plug in all around that canister. There's 4 spots for them. As you can see, 2, 3, and 4. And I just didn't want to drop one of these because it would have been gone forever. So pop all of that out of there. Now you have the little extra arm for DNA, that for DNA extraction. That's what these are. These are DNA extraction canisters. There are no little diodes that go on this one, but this arm does plug right in there. And neat thing about these, you can fill them with water and make it look like they're bubbling. You know, a little bit of soapy water, shake it up a little bit and have some bubbles. We have his blaster, his pistol from the cartoon series. And I don't know what these are supposed to do. It's some kind of weapon assembly or whatever, but you also have the injection gun here. But yeah, so you have these pieces here that attach to this hose. You have this flexible rubber or soft plastic hose. I think it's more of a hard rubber. Kind of plug in right there, and then you have the canister that also attaches to Mindbender's belt. Yes. This actually goes right here in this little socket that I was showing you earlier. Plugs right in and can be covered by the cloak. And we'll go in the figure's hand like so. Yeah, watch me fumble with it. Man, come on, finger. Come on, trigger finger, do the trigger thing. There we go. Just like that. Finger fits, hand fits. So yeah, that out of there. I don't think that's too stable of a mount here. It's awfully movable. But again, this is also a soft plastic or a hard rubber. And that's it for Dr. Mindbender. A lot of neat little accessories that are references to Arise, Serpentor, Arise. But necessary for the figure? Man, not really. I could see Hasbro actually putting out a retro version of this figure. Just a carded version with the retro accessories. Here, this, with this, and maybe the pistol, and this piece. None of this is necessary for Mindbender. Here you have it. Here's your retro carded Mindbender. Maybe give him a little bit different paint scheme. Maybe even screen print that Cobra logo onto the back of the cloak. All right, moving on to Serpentor. Here, the front of the Serpentor case is the same Cobra DNA sequence that you saw on the Mindbender box. The dual flap. You have the figure here in a plastic tray, accessories on either side. I'll actually go ahead and I've already opened this, sorry. Anyway, you have a piece of tape. Let's see, you have a piece of tape on this flap here, on this flap here, and then over here on the side you have a piece on the bottom and on the top. I've cut those so that I can open everything and pull it out of the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a look at the artwork inside the box. You have the air chariot here hooked up to what appears to be, or in front of what appears to be, monitors or some kind of machine. I think this is supposed to look like Serpentor in some type of chamber. In opening everything up, I want to note that the same artwork exists in the very back of the box that exists here on the front of the inner part of the box where the figure is, as you can see inside here. That's not the best view, but at least you kind of get the idea of what's going on there. This packaging is a lot of extra stuff. There's just so much to it. Having that large, this thing is a lot bigger than I expected. Yeah, I know that's what she said. But we're gonna dig in here and get everything out. Again, they really made a solid package and used a ton of tape where I don't think it was necessary. Like back here for these tray tabs, you have a tray inside of a tray. It's a lot. But it appears as though everything was pretty well thought out to keep it all in place. In here we have a package of, oh, the plastic-free packaging. Yes, the plastic-free packaging. We have all of this stuff inside this bag. What all do we have here? We have another one of these, which should have been in one of these waste of space plastic trays in the front. That could have, like, all this stuff could have easily been vac formed into these trays here. Much like they did with Mindbender, you want to do the plastic-free packaging, yet you waste plastic over here. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. Do your thing, Hasbro. Okay, so this is the machine guns that go on the side, the barrel, the body, the barrels, the bodies, and whatever else we have. We'll set those off to the side, and then all of this stuff, okay, so this is to the point of being a little bit annoying. I absolutely hate these little plastic ties. They could have used paper ties or just not use ties at all. If you're going to package the machine guns in the G.I. Joe and Cobra paper bags, why not package the rest of this stuff in the paper bags as well? Man, okay. This little useless thing here. We have some instructions folded up in here. Pretty simple. All right, so we're going to get in here with the scissors and cut the rest of these little plastic ties that I hate. Are you serious? Come on, guys. Like, I mean, you could look at this as they did an exceptional job of making sure shit wasn't going to rattle and move around. That's cool, I guess. Here's the snake, which is also, you could look at this as a throat. Oh, come on. I thought the snake was going to be, like, articulated. Was going to be rubber and loose, but this is it. He's just, he's molded like this. Check it out. It's actually molded, twisted up like that into a pretzel. I don't like that. The figure, however, is great. The Air Chariot, however, is great. Let's take a look here. Stupid plastic ties all over the place. This is worse than fucking Transformers. Man. Is that it? Is that the last one? All right, so the bottom of the Chariot's free. The Cobra's head is free. And I believe Lenny had actually said that they modeled this after a real Cobra snake. So I'll set these off to the side, clear the packaging away, and then we can really get into some of these parts. Serpentor is noticeably larger than most of the other classified figures. Most of the classified figures are around 6 inches tall. Serpentor, lining up here on the mat, his feet are actually lined up right here on one of the inch lines, as you can see, and the head comes up all the way to here. He is a good over 7 inches. He's actually close to 7 1/4 inches tall. So we have a larger figure, honestly, more in scale, like the DC figures, the McFarlane DC Universe figures. But it's a G.I. Joe. It's definitely Serpentor, just a little big. So this, I already noticed right off the bat, this cowl, which I actually like this cowl a lot, allows for no head movement or anything, and it comes off a little easy there. And then you have just a weird looking head. So we can pop that off. You see here where it goes into the back of the figure, and I'll show you that. But this is all one piece. Again, As they said in the live stream, this is modeled after the actual head of a cobra. Nice little details. I really like the paint they used on this. It's a metallic gold paint, and then you have metallic silver here for the fangs. It's also molded in a metallic gold plastic. I really dig that. And then the hands, of course, you have the green and the metallic gold paint. Again, metallic gold paint on the torso, a different metallic gold for the rest of the body, and check out the scales that are sculpted into the figure. Actual snake-like textures, like these belly scales here for the boots. Check that out. That is really, really cool. I think that they did a fantastic job with the figure. Yes, I will put the other cowl on the figure. But if you come back here, check out the soft goods cape. You have the smooth underside, and then you have a scale print almost. Yeah, that's like a scale print. It's not textured. That is cool. The scales toward the middle are larger, and then they get smaller as they fan out toward the edges. It's almost like a snake skin cape. They really went all out on this figure. Look at the textures on everything. It's all sculpted scales. I think that looks awesome. I'm really impressed with Serpentor, the creation. Can't show the creator without showing the creation. So my cowl, my additional cowl, is deformed. It was actually, and it was actually placed in the vac tray a little funny. It wasn't completely locked in, which I think that almost holds this stuff too securely. But a little bit of heat and holding that in place maybe would get it to straighten out. I do have a heat gun. I'm not going to mess with it right now, but we're going to go ahead and put this onto the back of the figure. Maybe. It slips down inside here. Where's that hole? Right there we go. So it goes in just like a backpack. And this is more along the lines of how the 3.75 inch and other, the 4-inch modern Serpentors looked. They had that cowl that came up behind the head. And then you have the other head top that is separate from that cowl. And it is pretty much the same piece. No, it's not, actually. I was wrong. This one is more flat, whereas the other one is rounded on top. Now, see, I like the one that's rounded on top. They should have made this one the same instead of having it be flat on the top. I don't like it being flat. It doesn't look as natural with it being so flat. But at the same time, it doesn't make the figure look bad, in my opinion. You still have the helmet or mask. What, I guess part of the cowl that encompasses most of the head except for the face, and then the face looks like it's protruding from a snake's mouth. You have the fangs down here, the jaw here. Really nice details. And check out, they even did the snake skin, the snake scale sculpting all the way up here on the neck. And I do absolutely love the color scheme that they went with here. That subdued matte green on top of the metallic gold. The two different shades of metallic gold. The one that the figure is molded in and the one that the paint app is applied in. Now, you see that we also have the new style torso for the larger figures that moves. It gives a little bit more natural movement, in my opinion. I believe that it's a ball joint in there. I'm not going to pop them apart to find out. But it's I like the way that looks a lot better. It also gives them the ability to provide a more natural look to sculpts. So one thing that I was looking forward to trying with this figure, does it fit the clamshell case? Does it fit the classified sized clamshell case that I sell here? And oh yes, I believe it does. I believe it fits well, which also means that this will fit DC figures. This is a really good fit. Damn, it fits great. Yeah, he really fills that case out nicely. Won't be able to fit many accessories in there, but he does fill out the case nicely if someone, namely this someone, wanted to display a Serpentor figure. That would be the way to do it. So what we do have here with the head is more articulation, movement, etc., using that backpack style cowl piece. And you know what? I really want to take this off. It's not in the way or anything. I just want to see, I want a good look of how the back is constructed. Let's get that off there. And it is a little bit of a stretchy type material, so it's not going to tear anything putting it back on. Man, these arms actually feel really good too. They're not super loose or super tight. They feel really good. Okay, so the way that this fits, you have a recessed cutout in the back of the figure, which you're not going to see if you have the cape on anyway, but the recessed cutout allows for this to be not seamless, but allows for these cowl pieces to not be an additional raised up backpack style of accessory. It makes it look more like part of the molded body, and even the type of plastic that it's made out of. Now, see, you have this this upper torso is probably a harder plastic than this, or this is harder than this piece here, and the shade of plastic is just a little bit different. Not a big issue. It's not as noticeable around the front. Plus, you have that big paint app across the front of the chest as well. But I know that it may also have something to do with the fact that this is a much more pliable piece of plastic that could be contributing to the difference in hue. So you have the rotating biceps, the double jointed elbows. Man, those are stiff. That's going to have to be heated up before you move it. Before I move it, I'm not going to take a chance of breaking this figure. It was hard enough for everyone to get these, and I say that with sarcasm. It wasn't that hard if you tried. They were available at least a minimum of 3 different times that these figures were available. I like the long claw. It's another thing. The claw actually sets into the arm. It's not so much of a round peg or a clip-on. There's actually a positional keyed socket for this to go into. And let's give you a close-up look here of that. You have the metallic paint on the blades. And you also have the shorter one. I wish that you could put one of these on either side, but this hand does not have the keyed peg that makes it fit right there. So yeah, so that is keyed so that it's not going to move around or anything. And those are the same metallic claws, same metallic blades that pops right off. I, of course, would want to display, if I was displaying out of the box, I would want to display with these just because I think they look a little better. Let's get a good close-up look of the staff. There's no, it's basically just the same Cobra's head that you see with other pieces from this set. The only paint app is the jewel there on the bottom. Put that off to the side. Now you have his sword. Again, the only paint apps are the silver for the blade, and then you have the red jewel on one side on the bottom. Let's see if we can get that focused in there. See the Cobra's head, and then the blade. Looks good. And I was wrong. This is not a sheath for the sword. This is the snake that's formed into a spear that in the movie was thrown into the chest of Duke, biting him in the heart, poisoning him, and ultimately killing Duke, just like they killed Optimus Prime in the Transformers movie. But the backlash from the Transformers movie caused them to bring Duke back at the very last little moment of the movie. So just a neat little tidbit of knowledge there. And then, of course, like I said, you have this cowl piece over here. What else do we have? We have the Serpentor snake that this would be more scaled to the 3.75 inch or 4-inch modern figures for the G.I. Joe Renegades. If you watched Renegades, Cover Commander had a pet snake named Serpentor. Now, on to, we'll do the Air Chariot last, but get these off to the side. In the plastic-free packaging, yeah, quote-unquote plastic-free packaging. Why did they do this? Come on, guys. I definitely can't complain about it not being packaged well. This thing's, if anything, it's overdone as far as the internal packaging goes. Here you have the main bodies of the machine guns. I don't like the fact that they are hollow. This is annoying. This is something that they do with Transformers that really, really bothers me. And one of the reasons why I'm kind of getting out of Transformers, they made everything hollow. This should be solid. This should be solid. Now, they're labeled with an R and an L for right and left for their positions on the Air Chariot. Yeah, even though they're hollow, they're still pretty solid. It's not necessary. It's just an aesthetic thing where I would prefer for them to be solid. Or at least have some kind of panel that covers that. But the main body of the machine guns. What else is in this bag here? One of the things that they talked about in the live streams for this figure was having some of this stuff be interchangeable with other figures down the line. Here we have an ammo belt that clips in. So maybe some of these ammo belts can be interchanged with other things later on. And it's keyed. Keyed again. I had it in wrong. It actually goes in like that. So it's only supposed to go into the gun one way. And it's keyed for that. Wrong again. What the hell am I doing? I mean, it's not like anything's going to break, but am I wrong in this placement here? You know what? It'll pretty much go in either way. Yeah, they'll pretty much go in there either way. If you look inside here, the feed port does have a little keyed piece. And there we go. So there's the bodies of the machine guns. Now we have our barrels, which way do they go in? They go in this way? Looks like they go in this way. Is it keyed? I guess now would be a good time to check out those instructions. Now for the barrel assembly, you have a long post on this end, and it just pops right in like that. You can hear an audible pop. These barrels do spin freely. I would say that these are similar to an M2 machine gun. Similar to, but they're still kind of their own thing, and they will set onto or clip onto the Air Chariot like so. Moving on, that is the last piece for the figure. Moving on, which technically that's either for the figure or for the Air Chariot. Moving on to the Air Chariot, let's get a good look at some of the details here. You can see that we have, come on, let's focus here. The vents on the front, the vents on the wings. Decals already applied as paint apps. These are paint tampos. Very nice. I am happy for that because I hate applying decals. Water slides maybe, but I'm always afraid that I'm going to get something positioned incorrectly, mess it up, and then have to go back and redo it. I like the riveting around all of the panels. Check out that little paint tampo there. That one, as a matter of fact, has a defect in it. That's interesting, but I can see it on camera, but I can't really see it as much off camera. Yeah. You have the fan back here, the turbine. I don't think... Okay, so you have... Yeah, it looks like it does spin. How do we get that thing to spin? Is it this piece here? Yeah, there we go. It does spin freely. And pegs for the figure's feet on these little stand boards here. I'm kind of starting to ramble a little bit, trying not to, but you have a control fin back here that's already installed. There's not a whole lot to the assembly of this. It looks like it's basically two pieces of a shell sandwiched together around some of the jets and vents and things like that. Down here, what are these? What are these? What are those? Ah, come out of there. Awesome. We have little kickstand pieces here. So if I can get in there and get it set down so that the air chariot kind of stands on its own up off the table. Check it out. That's awesome. That's a neat little detail. I like small details like that. And also you have all the screws in the bottom. You could technically take this apart if you wanted to. Kind of customize it, add some paint apps or something to it if you wanted. So I'm not going to get into the directions for all this stuff. I'm just going to look and see if I can find where things kind of go. These pieces here look to plug right in. Yes. Oh, I don't think they're supposed to rotate like that. But anyway, you plug right in here. Like so. Easy disassembly. That's what we'll call it. Easy disassembly. Get that one plugged in. You know what? I think that you probably could take this and turn it a different direction if you wanted to. And, well, maybe not. Let's, no. We probably better just stick with the upright position. I'm actually going to fold these feet in for this, so that I have a more solid platform to work on. So let's see. Pop right down. Looks good. It's in place well. It doesn't really rotate or anything. And last but not least, the snake's head that goes on the front. So a very good looking piece here. You have all kinds of little sockets to tab into. This is two pieces that are screwed together. It could be taken apart, I think. And that would be good for customization. The mouth is supposed to open. Yes, the mouth opens, revealing a gun inside. Now, how do we get these fangs? How do we get the fangs to come down? I know that they do. I know the fangs come down. Really, really cool little detail that they've added here is these. Yes, just like so. You have the gun that's actually supposed to come down a little bit. Down and out, I thought. Yeah, I thought the gun was supposed to come down and out. But apparently not. Oh, the mouth even closes with the fangs out. That is cool. The snake's head is also articulated. It kind of tabs in up here at the top and will fold down like this. Not really sure what that feature would be for, but getting in here to open the mouth, the gun just kind of falls down a little bit, and you do have to get something in here to get the fangs out. They're not going to just fold out on their own. But you do see that the gun kind of centers, and then there's a little recess in the top for it to go up into when you close the mouth. I like the look with the fangs out. You can display that either way, but just a really neat little feature to have. Those extra little things there in the snake's head. And again, Lenny did say that this was modeled after an actual cobra snake. So these tabs back here, this whole thing's going to pop down into, let's see if we can push it down. Yeah, it looks like we're all the way tabbed in. Someone had said something about making sure that you move this forward, but I don't see... okay, so apparently we were not tabbed all the way in, because these pieces here should clip into this. There we go. Now it's all the way in. It snapped. And that nice positive pop, and I don't know if that'll come back out. I think that might actually be assembled somewhat permanently. You could probably take it apart, get in there, push those tabs, and get the snake's head back off of there. I wouldn't want to do that necessarily, but you got to make sure that you get some good positive pressure there to get everything to pop in the way that it should and look right. So, but there you have the fully assembled air chariot. A little better view zoomed out of the fully assembled air chariot. I said fully assembled, but I didn't have the guns on, and the guns just peg in right here on the sides, and they do kind of rotate a little bit. So let's get that just like so. They're not going to like be, yeah, if I can quit kicking the camera, they're not going to be stuck in any position, because you want these to be able to come out to use. As you can see, there's not really a tab or anything there on that peg. It's just a post that goes into a socket like so. And you can push that on down. Kind of give it a little wiggle room, but they move around. They are movable. Don't really have any up and down movement. No movement in the x-axis, but they definitely, and there they are. They're evened up, and you even have ports for blast effects. What comes with blast effects? The Viper 3-pack. You could use some of those blast effects on this. They should have included, and I know that I keep pointing out little things I don't like about this. This isn't necessarily one of those, but they could have included some blast effects with this set. This is a really good sized vehicle for Serpentor to ride on in style. He has the foot pegs back here. Let's go ahead and peg him on, at least with one of them. Move this foot over here. Get him, see if we can get him positioned properly for that. Now, there we have a fully assembled air chariot with Serpentor mounted. Let's see if we can get an approximate height here on him. That comes in right at about 9.5 inches tall on the air chariot. This thing's actually pretty big. It's a good, oh man, that is a good solid 10 inches across the bottom, and what I say, 9.5 inches tall. That's a pretty good sized classified vehicle, and a beautiful display piece. I think they did an excellent job with Serpentor. So that's pretty much it. I think I've gone over everything for this figure. Here's the instructions that it came with. They're extremely simple. And notice it doesn't show the tabs here on this. Maybe that doesn't matter. I think it does, but whatever. Just pretty straightforward, no text or anything. Just shows you what goes where. It's not like there's a whole lot of pieces to the assembly of this, but it is a very, very nice piece for the classified line. I like the fact that the fan has some rotation there. I am going to get everything packed back up as much as possible. This packaging is not, or the vehicle and the packaging are not necessarily friendly to everything being packed back into it like it was with Mindbender. But I'll do what I can and see if I can make most of it work. Probably the Air Chariot's definitely not going back in the box because I don't want to take everything apart to get the snake's head off. Thanks for joining in on the Creator and Creation unboxing. Serpentor, killer figure, love the display, but I don't think that I want to keep one necessarily opened. Maybe if I just open the figure and leave the Air Chariot boxed and have the box in a case. Some people like loose vehicles. I'm not one of those people. I would much prefer something that I could put back in the box and have in a display that way. Yeah, you wouldn't really see it, but I could still take it out if I wanted to. Yeah, the Air Chariot though, super nice piece. It has a decent weight to it. It's solid construction, and I think that they did a fantastic job with the Air Chariot. I would say that those little fin pieces back here could go in a little better, a little more securely. They seem to pop out pretty easy, but maybe that's by design. It appears to be by design. The guns on the sides do take blast effects, as I said. I'm just trying to think of a quick rundown here and make sure I didn't miss anything, but really enjoyed all of this. Also, my transitions there at the beginning, I kind of stole that from my friend Baldylocks Reviews. If you check out the recommended channels section, there's a section that says channels on my channel, and it has subscribe to these other great channels. You'll see a list of other channels down there that they're friends of mine, and we kind of support each other in that aspect. So check those guys out. I know there's other reviews of this stuff coming up. Baldy Likes just did one on the Tiger Force Ram with Duke, and Toys BS, I know that they have one coming on Mindbender, and there was some stuff that he wanted to point out there as well. So, but yeah, I'm super happy with Serpentor. This was a very, very nice exclusive piece. I think that they really stepped their game up on Serpentor's design. I don't think that this is something that we would see in store retail, that type of an item. This was a PulseCon exclusive set, and honestly, I'm glad that it was. As much as people talked about how hard it was to get this, it really wasn't necessarily the easiest. You had to be available at the right time and check out at the right time and whatnot. And but it was available 3 different times, at least a minimum of 3 different times. And as much as I hate to say it, as Joe fans, we have it pretty easy when it comes to getting these exclusive pieces. We really do, because since I started getting into limited Nike drops, at least we don't have to enter a lottery on an app or a website. Enter a lottery. Yes, that's exactly what I said. Enter a lottery just for the chance to purchase something like the Serpentor with Air Chariot. Some of the shoes that I've purchased here lately, as a matter of fact, I just got the Nike Jordan 1 Lost and Found set. Yes, I actually scored that pair of shoes, that pair of sneakers, and you had to enter a lottery just to purchase them. It wasn't something where you just went on the site and bought it. You had to be right there at the time that they dropped. They were available for 10 minutes where you could enter the draw. And then between 15 and 30 minutes after entering the draw, you would find out whether or not you were selected to be able to purchase these. It's not a selection to win them. You are in a lottery just to buy them, just for the chance to buy them. So that's something we don't have to worry about with G.I. Joe. Everything's pre-orders and whatnot. Stuff does sell out kind of quick, but at least we're not in a lottery to get to buy. Anyway, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. Click the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. And check out the description for useful links to Amazon stuff and Facebook groups and whatnot. Things you will find useful. Join in the community and let's talk about Joe. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Yo, Joe Cobra! I'll see you soon.